For creating a new query in Databricks, so we have to go in a workspace and we have to create a folder. If the folder is already present, so there is no need of creating a folder. I am just creating an SQL queries folder and I'm adding that folder. After adding the folder, I'm just creating a query file in that. So the query file has been created by clicking on the create option. Here the data is present, like these are the catalogs and schemas. So in samples, these are all the schemas are present. So in high metastore and the sample are the two catalogs, whereas in high metastore there is a no data. In samples they have different schemas in that, like they have a default, NYC taxi, and TPCH. So the I just want to check the customer columns here. So I'm doing select C cust key, comma. If we don't want to type, then we can have a arrow button here, so it will do direct paste there. So we don't want to type like one column name. So it's a simple and easy trick. Only we have to add one column comma, and it will resolve it there. Next, the comma is present from customer table. So I'm just doing and turning the code here. So here the problem is the query is not executed because it is present in the samples and it is present in the TPCH. So here it is showing that it is present the highest tick, it is not present in the data. So if we do that, it will run the query. Okay, the query has been run here. So again, the next query, like I want only uh the C name, comma C phone. Like I want only customer name and the phone contact number. So I'm selecting from customer. So it is executing. It will take time. So yeah, I just asked the customer name and phone, and it has been presented here. If uh if we want a data, like they have different catalogs present there, and in the schemas the catalogs are different presented, so we can I'm writing a new query here, like I'm adding a name like switching, how we can switch catalogs and schemas. Like we can also add a query, or either we can type and do that. So we can also clicking by here and do the settings like where it is present. Either we can write a query here. So I'm writing a query. So for switching a catalogs and schemas, I'm writing the query like I want to select from trips. So I'm just writing. So the trips is present here and it is in the sample set. So so the query will not run, because the reason it is showing that the table or a view trip cannot be found, because the schemas and catalogs they have spellings and correctness. We have to see whether there is a spelling or correctness. So the trip is present in the NYC taxi under a samples, but here the query is not running, so that is why we can add a name, like so it will not run. We can also write like this query, like select from select from samples select from samples where the data is present in the trips is NYC taxi. So NYC taxi, comma, trips, it is present the data. So if we run this, so it will not run. So because it will taking a two codes. If we enter and only selecting this query and we can run this code, it will show. Because the reason behind this is it will not show because this query is not giving a full information like whether like where the data is present in that either it is present in the schemas or either it is present in a which catalog. So that is why the result is not giving. So we can do like this, like select from sample NYC taxi, or either we can also use another query like use. We can also type that use catalog, like what is a catalog. So here use catalog samples. In that we can in that we can type key in that we can type down like select NYC taxi dot trip. So it will show the query. It is not showing. The reason behind is like use catalog samples. I just run the code, so that is why it is not showing. If like only I have to select this and run the code, it will execute because it will take from first to last. So that is why it is not running the code. So again, for adding a comments, so like adding a comments, I can add year only comments, or either I can switch to the new query. For adding a comments, like I'm adding here comments and giving a name as a comments. So for adding a comments, like I want select orders. Okay, I want to see the orders. So I will say simply like select. I say that use catalogs use catalogs schemas, or I will say that select all from nation, or I will say nation या orders. Okay, I will consider as an orders and select from samples where the data is present, the order is present in TPCH. So I will consider TPCH as an schema. Under schema, it is present in orders. So here it is showing that the table or a view orders cannot be found. Verify the spelling and correctness. So for this, I have to if I only consider this value like don't not considering that, only considering select all from samples.tps from orders. So it will show all the values, and after that it will not show. So for adding these comments, like for adding any comment for understanding better what the query is been written, to understand better the comment has been used. For adding a single line comment we use like this two dash, and adding a comment like selecting columns to see the orders table. Selecting columns to see orders table. It's a single line comment. It's a single line. It's a single line comment. It is used for one line statement. It's used for one line statement. For double line, like I want select from sample from TPH, and I also want nation here. So I'm considering both the tables. I want the both the tables data here. So I'm executing this code, and I want to also add the comment. So for adding a two lines comment. So if I consider that there is a two line comment, so the comment will like slash and star. So where is star, and adding the comment like selecting columns from order table, and I'm adding one more line as in selecting selecting columns from nation table. So this is for the two lines. So that is why we have to consider here both. We can give the space here and we can consider. So for two tables, and it for one table. Like to understand more better which query is written, and by adding a comment it will be most helpful to read the query and execute the query. We can also schedule a query, like we can also set the query. Like here we can go, and so here the option is not giving to me access, so we can also schedule here directly, or we can save the query by using this save button. We can also save the query, so it will ask the where to save this query. So we have to save this query in SQL folder, and we can save here. After saving it will show to schedule. So we can also so this is my first so I'm just adding your name as query, and I'm also saving this. So it will save in the SQL query folder. And for saving the comments, after saving we can also schedule, like we can also schedule like how much time we want, like every 2 minutes we want this query, how many minutes, show cron, like that. After we used to create here, and that's it. We can save and schedule, and run the we can run the query, we can switch the catalogs here, we can add some comments, we can save, and we can schedule. Thank you.